monastic rule, monastic rule by this touching and picking up a woman like that.
Victorious.
And he said,
Victorious.
oh, but I left her on the other side of the river and you're still carrying.
You will look upon it as warfare. If you take this seriously, you will look upon it as warfare. You will look upon it as warfare. And you will look upon it as warfare. And you will firmly believe that the most urgent thing that can possibly be
the whole
is to
message
order.
even you could find us to some extent
And you firmly believe that the most urgent thing that can possibly
rather
be is to make
irritable
order
Saint
over random. To make
Paul,
Imagine that created certain problems
is to
to
make
understand
order.
trumpet players.
where he speaks of the opposition of the flesh and the spirit.
Nobody can play with false feet.
Now, this word sarx,
I didn't go for
in
that.
Greek, the flesh,
Maybe there must be
as he
a way
uses
of doing it, and I was
is really, as Vj-Vreque points out, it's a spiritual category.
It was 3 years before I worked.
For the Christian, you see, the word is made flesh.
So then, here's the drama. My metaphysics, let me be perfectly
And there will be the resurrection of the body, the final consummation.
and it's all
the
the
universe.
all the parts, all beings whatsoever.
So you cannot really, as an Orthodox Christian, take an antagonistic attitude.
When you're ready,
Why then does Paul take an
since you're all
antagonistic
here,
attitude?
engaged in sort of inquiry and sort of lecture, I assume
Well, you can only save the situation to make the mutations in the system.
Well, I assume maybe you are not serious.
By saying that what he meant by the flesh,
When you're
a certain kind of spiritual category. He didn't mean this, because this isn't flesh. Flesh is a concept. This is not.
Basic, go right down to it.
And so the flesh, or you might say, talk about the sins of the flesh, they have entirely to do with certain hang-ups. Even we have about our
My door, I'm sorry. What a funny way God
and that again is what I would call a leaning on the word, exploiting
the way
when you take as the first you take the third precept.
the very fact that you exist
And it's usually translated, I undertake the precept, gave a refrain from doubt. It doesn't say anything of the kind.
you nailed it. Because you need to say you have
Karma is past. Karma is
across the stack.
I undertake the
In order
precept.
to, in all
Not to
mysteries,
explode
when you're going to be
the
initiated, somebody saying, don't you come in.
So in other words, you may be born
Then you let it, so you lie.
and you feel sort of empty
I
and
won't wake up until I feel
hallucinate.
I won't wake up until I've made it different. So I invent
Don't commit it up.
elaborate delaying my
Might liven things up. And that would be what they call in Zen raising waves when
Chet
no
still
wind
wants
is
to play
blowing.
during the evening. He goes to the
It
busy
would be
jazz
quite a
club.
different matter if
Chet
in a
plays two
perfectly
numbers with a group
spontaneous
called
and natural
Bad
way,
Circuits.
I was playing a disc in the jazz room too.
fell in love with
I
someone.
was playing Sing Song, and suddenly Chet
You wouldn't be going out of your way to get into trouble.
very softly.
It would be appropriate and natural.
After that we played the stand,
Or the same way
and
our ladies
the
physical
the
saying
one
leave
piece
us
of
clothed
was
down
another
free.
tune that the other
They
played.
feel sort of
So I
bored.
really was shocked when I heard I was the last one
So
I
they
was
have
expecting.
built up the weekly outline as they're feeling spiritually back in their psyche with food, which doesn't fluctuate out between the United States and Canada, once we get in Western Great Lakes, is simply a straight line. What has that got to do with it? With any difference between Canadians on one side of the line?
After the
Americans?
performance,
in this
Baker
way,
does not go straight
one
back to the room he's
absolutely
renting.
violate the appetite of the
He needs more heroin,
cash. And look at
a lot
the fair
more
city of
heroin.
San Francisco. It's a lovely place, but so likewise also on the fifth precepts around area a gridiron. You know, the straight concentrated subject where they should follow. And wherever say that you're not going to take it, says you're not going to be in touch.
The drug situation in California, as it was in New York, unfortunately was probably contributed to by Bird, because Bird was a drug addict. I guess somehow we were all misled into thinking that if it was okay for him, it was okay for us, and it was the thing to do. Consequently, almost every jazz musician that I knew back in the late 40s, early 50s was strung out on heroin. Almost everyone. By the way, Chet in those days, as we all know, he had a great involvement with drugs most of his life, but nowadays. He did smoke pot a lot, but he was not involved with hard drugs at all. I don't know if you want this information or not, but I was involved with hard drugs when I first knew him. And strangely enough, by the time I stopped doing that, he started.
I got, as they say, busted twice in California for writing prescription, which is really outrageous, and could have ended up very easily as Art did in San Quentin. But I had some luck on my side that Art didn't have, in that my judge had been a trumpet player in college. And so after 5 months, after the second time I was arrested, he put me back on the street and back on probation. Immediately got on the methadone program and stayed on there for 7 years.
It's organization, the organization in systems of communication. Now then, you see, if you take this concept of what we call the contemplation,
Yeah, I was locked up in 62. No, I mean 60. And I missed that New Year's. The New Year of 61, they let me out a month ahead of time. So I wouldn't be in jail over Christmas and New Year's.
He had a very unfortunate incident in, I think, San Francisco. I guess it must have been in the 50s or 60s. Probably was in the 60s, where he was beaten up by several people for whatever reason. And I believe at that time he lost most of his teeth, and from then on had to play on false teeth. I imagine that created certain problems for him. As I understand, trumpet players have a problem with false teeth.
They told me, you know, nobody can play with false teeth. And I didn't go for that, and I knew there must be a way of doing it, and I was going to find it. And so I worked at it for 3 years. It was 3 years before I worked professionally before a live waiting.
He had trouble with his teeth all the time. It was not his own teeth. I think he bought them somewhere. And they fall down sometimes. A lot of trouble.
He had artificial teeth, and they didn't stick at a certain moment, so he had to get some stuff, you know.
So now let's go to the pharmacy. Let's try it again. So sticking stuff. And then on the bell, shut something. Beat on the door, and then he came down. Such a face, you know. This time, man, what it is. When I have a famous trumpet player, he has to finish it. The only day he can do it. Please, now. Okay, I go upstairs. Get some stuff. So then he put it in, fixed it, and they played the whole tune out. The whole record was done in, let's say, 5, 6 hours. He was always in between the songs, spitting through his trumpet to put out his spit. That kind of song. And the piano player was usually nowadays. And the bell was really as well. To the piano. And then he took sometimes in my hand. The other way around. That's not usable in the studio atmosphere. Where everybody plays together in the same room. So I didn't put him in concert. Afterwards, it's not a big, but it's close. I have my own room. I never had my own room. I even have no house. What do you charge for this one? Yeah, I did. We can discuss it later, but please, let's finish your record and then we can find something out. It's a lot of money from me.
You know, when I showed him a contract once, back in the day, he said, "Oh, it's a sign." you know me, you know, we can trust each other. And it's fine, you said to at least. And then they did. They said, well, man, I don't even need a copy because you keep working on it. Carry your business.
Vertrouw altijd op Hydro-Vuc altijd zweet.
He ended up kicking it with us the whole night though, just smoking flat, chilling and shit. Like, man, what's this nigga little ass kid? He's young as hell still.
I definitely was a little ass kid. Now it's like I damn near been in this shit 10 years, folks. Like,
that's crazy.
10 years plus in the game with this music shit. Like, that's what's so crazy because it's like I done put in so much work. The best thing about it is like I can always come back to the resource. We can always. I wish I always said stay consistent. Fuck it, what it should could, you know.
We all.
We here. Fuck it. We here. We doing it, man.
What's life been like? First off, I had to think about this shit. I ain't not even on no funny shit. I just, what the fuck is